It's a message.
Greetings, everyone, and welcome today to this special edition of It's Whatever with the Bishop. Hey, Bishop. I'm going to say I'm a special guest today since he normally does his Saturday episodes, and then I'll join him on Sundays for our Magic Moments with the Mosley. So yes. I'm a special guest.
All right.
Today we have I don't want to call it a special topic, but we just have a topic that he felt it was necessary to address. And I'll say in our quest, of course, to promote healthy relationships, we speak on the inevitable, which is
divorce.
This thing said divorce. He was talking about cheating.
Oh yes, I'm sorry.
Infidelity.
Yeah.
So before we jump in, I just wanted to say it's the last weekend before school is set to start.
Yes.
And I'm so shocked that summer really went by in the blink of an eye.
Yeah.
I always think when school's starting, winter's coming, football season's here, so that's a plus. But I always think this time of year that means the cold is coming, and it's pretty cool today.
It feels good.
We worked out today. I had a sweatshirt on.
It feels good today.
It does feel good. Good enough to open your windows and turn off the air conditioning.
Yeah.
Okay, so
what's going on?
That being said,
yes.
Let's jump in.
So I had questions of.
He got a lot to say.
I got a lot.
He always got a lot to say. There's nothing different about today, but
yeah,
he looked like he got a lot. He got a notebook and everything.
And I got stuff on my phone. So I don't. I was trying to not get. I ramble. I go.
I do, and I try to tell him to just
I want to slow down. I'm gonna slow down.
Okay, we gonna try it. He's so passionate about things, and especially this podcast, that he will take it and run full steam ahead. He's like a gunner. You have to go, whoa,
yeah,
reel it in.
That's what I do.
Reel it in. So my mission today is to keep him focused, so that we can address a thing, and then we can move past, so we can get to the next thing. So that's our mission. That's our mission. So don't feel bad if I say go back, so we can revisit and reiterate, so that our listeners and our followers have a understanding of what it is you're so passionate and you're trying to address.
Yes.
So that being said, let's go.
All right. So I had a couple questions I wanted to get in. So it was
questions first.
I mean, just so where we're headed.
Okay.
Can marriages be fixed once someone cheats? Then I had what are some of the reasons a married person cheats?
So you're going to give them to me all, and then we'll go back and address them one by one?
Yeah, we're going to go back.
Okay.
And this is just some of them. This is just to get us started, because
Okay. This might take longer than 60 minutes, so you might have session 101, 102.
Yeah, we might have to. And then,
110.
Are both parties responsible? And what are some of the reasons? I said that someone would cheat. I have a list of reasons.
List. You make it seem like it's so long.
It is.
Because that could be other reasons.
It goes into, and that's why I wanted to go slow, because I know it goes into a lot of things, because even to the root, there's things that can lead to someone cheating in the marriages because they didn't want to be married in the first place.
That's another story.
Yeah, so, and
that's another
it could
story.
be things from their past, things that they didn't take care of.
I think that's something that, and not to jump into anything, but just because you just said it now, but that's something that we truly have to evaluate. You can't get into a marriage knowing that you shouldn't have been there in the first place. To me, it sounds like it's doomed from the start.
So I look at it like, that's why I said that it's deeper than that, because that's the truth that you have to be able to have with yourself.
You do.
And
it is.
And not move in.
So I plan to speak about that, because when we talked about this topic, or when you brought it to the forefront, and then that was just one of the things that I jotted down, the word denial. Okay. So I'll let you get into your questions, and then we'll go one by one.
All right, so I had...
So ask your first one.
So, the first one was, can marriages be... I don't even know if this should be the one that goes first.
Okay, well,
let's go into what are some of the reasons a married person...
So we read a lot. There was a lot of research, a lot of Googling of stuff, but just even on in a human sense, so we'll put this in a fleshly sense. emotions, communication, disconnection, assumptions.
Yeah.
Those are a couple things that I...
Yeah. Now I'm saying that because
You're like, yeah.
I feel you got to treat everything at even playing field. But you know me.
What you mean?
I feel that some things shouldn't be on there. That's not a reason to cheat.
Like an excuse. You giving it an excuse.
Yeah.
Give an example.
Example.
I hate these bright lights. I promise. My eyes is just...
I don't think they're bright.
I know. You know I can't deal with light.
You should wear some shades.
I'm okay.
Like assuming or having bad communication.
Communication is an issue for all things.
I think
Not
that,
even just
I think
cheating or infidelity. Communication is communication is a major factor of life.
It is.
Especially in a relationship.
It's in parts, and not to get off into that because I feel that is major in it. That is one of the major things. What I mean by that, it's not by itself.
What do you mean?
Communication. If you have no communication
stands alone. A lot of things can get misconstrued.
So how did you get married with no communication?
There could be communication. So let's just use the example of what we talked about today. I won't get into specifics because it would that's minute, but I'm just saying something can be perceived or received in a totally different manner in which you intended for it to be delivered. So I asked a question, and then, not to say you got offended, that might be the wrong word, but communication is miscommunicated a lot. Like, it's tone. Sometimes things need to be communicated face to face, so that way you can get a feel for body language or the aura, the sense of everything. But if you send a text message, like let's just say, and there was a situation, that's why I said, how could I have worded that better for you so that way you didn't receive it like with a mental picture of me giving you attitude when I wasn't giving you attitude. I just was asking a question. Now I may have used the wrong wording, so I need it for you. That's why I said, in order for me to get this right, I need for you to be a part of explaining to me how I could have said that a little bit better, so that way you didn't receive it on the flip side of what I intended it to be.
I understand all that.
So
that wouldn't make me want to cheat on you.
I know, but I'm just saying that's how
it starts.
Communication is received. Like it starts.
I
know, but I was just trying to give an example of how something so small can turn into something really big, only because it was miscommunicated.
So I understand that.
I think in all senses, like whatever, and I've been guilty of this too, but like when it comes to communicating, a lot of times I might assume how I think you're going to react to a thing. So
have I let you down?
You actually surprised me, because sometimes, like let's just say the one situation like with my mom, I'll just say that just with my mom, like I was really trying to figure out a way to like break something down to you when I finally got nerve, like I worked myself up, nerve to tell you how I felt about it. You were just like, okay, and it wasn't not a big deal. Like you received what I said and you took it for face value and you went on with it. But I thought you was going to it was going to create an argument or something. So,
and that's why I say recognizing, and this is big, and I feel you can't be selfish on either part, because that's still on the person. If you cannot see my growth to automatically think that and see how I'm handling things and seeing how I react to life, I think that was
on my part.
Yes, it had nothing to do with me. Because
that might be true.
You have to pay attention. Like, not saying you don't, but I don't. If I say I don't have time for set things, and you know the pace, I'm gonna say, that my life is and where I'm headed.
I told you, I said I was mad at myself that I beat myself up over there trying to figure out a way to dance around the mulberry bush and tell you, and it wasn't even such a big. When I finally got up nerve to tell you about it, it wasn't even really nothing. Yeah.
So,
but I think like communication, people can have lines of communication, but people can be in denial too. So that was one of, like I said, the reasons that I wrote down. Denial. Someone can have an issue in the partnership, the marriage, and if someone's coming to you and they are communicating that, and you don't receive it well, or you don't do anything to fix that issue, and it's like a constant thing to me. So that communication that wasn't received well could then lead to separation, or a disconnection, emotionally, physically, mentally. So it's like a trickle effect.
I think I could put together manifesto. Ain't that what they call
manifesto?
Yeah. What you need to know before you get married. There's things,
because you may not learn everything. Like you said, you may not learn everything until after you get married.
Right, but listen, there's no one telling you beforehand.
There's no one telling you beforehand. You think you know it all.
I don't think that. I mean, right, but I feel that I know enough now to say this is the things you have to work on. There's things men have to work on individually as a man.
Not just men.
I'm talking about women. That I can say for. I can't say what women need to work on.
Understand.
I'm talking about from a man. There's things, yes, that you need to have intact and know that there's things you need to know.
Okay, I can agree. I agree with that.
You know, people, and I say that to say, depending on what type of marriage you want to have, you can squeeze a marriage and it fills back up, and you can just keep filling up the cup like orange juice. Like you can get the best out of it, and it goes back, and you just keep filling it up and it gets better and better.
Yeah, but it takes two parties to be willing to do
so I feel that there's things in place that you have to know and be willing to do, so that prevents the cheating.
So that being said, I think self-evaluations are always necessary.
Yeah.
Because one of the notes that I jotted down was like, people can't, and I've mentioned this to you the other day, but people can't assume that everything is perfect and they are perfect. And it's not to say like if someone comes to you and they are communicating a said thing that it's a complaint. You have to be able to discern and say this could really be true. So it takes some self-evaluating on your point. Why does she or he feel that way? Why does it make me react a certain way? Like you have to do self-evaluating to know that. Basically, own your shit.
Yeah, I feel that you have to. That's why when I said you have to be trying to perfect it. That's what I mean about it. You have to.
It's a constant thing.
It has to be important to you. It's an everyday thing.
It's an
everyday thing. When you wake up in the morning, you have to. It's an everyday thing.
Being conscious of.
I had someone someone said, "Oh, I want to be like y'all when I grow up. I want to do
relationship goals."
Yeah. So like at the end of the day,
when you have no clue what the
backstory
of what goes into, what makes up, what trickles down.
Yes.
What gets exposed, yeah.
It is adjustments.
I think people only say that though, like, I want to be like so-and-so, because they see, not the end result, because there's, like, we're not an end result, but like,
right.
Of course we just want to promote the healthy, and we want to show people the real,
right.
Show people that it's possible. Like, we love each other, but it gets down and dirty.
I don't know about down and dirty.
Listen. Argue with the bishop.
I don't be bothered.
This nigga is passionate about life. You don't do what? Wait. Let me. What? You don't do what?
I don't be bothered to where it affects me to where I'm upset and I'm gonna go do something and you.
Nigga, your breathing patterns start changing.
Yeah, but the outcome. I
know, that's what I'm saying. People see the outcome, but I'm just saying in general, we just want people to know. I do not be arguing
with her. Let me say. I do not argue with her.
Babe, stop.
My breathing changes.
You swell up like the Hulk. I'm not saying you get violent or anything like the Hulk. Listen, everybody can attest to having a disagreement with you. Stop. I'm gonna chop you in the throat. Stop.
I am so Von Sway.
He's trying to be. He does have a lot of growth. Well, let's just say this, so we're not getting off a subject. I heard this thing when because I listen to stuff. My headphones are in all day at work, even though I'm multitasking. Like I have to listen and I'm feeding myself stuff. But this one lady said, marriages, if there's a disconnect on any level, any form, both parties are responsible. Yes. Do you agree? Or
yes, I agree.
Because I know that was one of your questions.
It said
not who's responsible, but
it says right. But then too, I had read that the other person is not. No one is responsible for the choice that you make. You make that choice, yes, regardless of what that is on you. Because
that portion,
regardless of how you feel, if you make that choice to commit infidelity, that's on you.
Infidelity.
I feel that, and now this is how I feel. I feel where you have a certain meaning for your life, a certain position, you don't have time, because it like taints you.
Yes.
To be sneaky, to become a liar, to because you have to do all these things. You have to be sneaky with text messages, talking, meeting. This is becoming of a different person, especially if you're trying to do right. You first have to want to do right. You have to be honest and have integrity. People always scream like they have integrity and they have this, but then you have to really ask yourself, do you?
Yeah.
How many people do you burn? How many people do you lie to? How many, like, this is the thing. Or are you always looking to get over? So I feel when you have that type of mentality, that type of vibe, to want to lie, to tell a lie, to cover up things, to do all these things, that becomes the characteristic of you, and
it consumes you.
And then what point does it not matter? You're already a liar. So how far would you not
go?
Yes. So I feel, and I was thinking, like with me, I wouldn't even be able to live with myself trying to be fake, pretending
to be two people.
Yes. You know, I look at people like, and that's disturbing. That's disturbing. I'm not going to come in public and pretend like everything is okay. That's disturbing to me. That is. So what realness and truthfulness do you have in a relationship where you're willing to lie, you're willing to cheat, you're willing to do all these things, but then you come and it doesn't work. So I feel like with me, and this is speaking from my point of view, if things got that bad to where I was unhappy, I would have to say something. I would have to say and free myself of, because I'm not going to go do things, because that just creates more
headache.
Yes, it creates
more.
more.
Say I'm a headache?
No, I'm just talking about more in life, because listen, you gonna have to juggle too. I didn't get this ain't over yet. I still gotta.
Lord.
Who has time for that?
You can juggle.
No, I ain't got time for that. Hearing you was enough. So what I think I'm gonna hear someone else.
Stop.
When you leaving her? Why you still there? What I'm gonna say?
Listen, some people, it's in their nature. So let's say the thing you sent me today. So there was this long passage that I read over. It was saying like some people, it's part of their makeup, and not that they were born with it, but let's just say in their younger years of life, like that's all they saw. Right. They think like that's part of the norm.
Right. Yeah.
That's their norm.
Jesus Lord.
It did. Did you read over it? What you sent me?
I grew up in that.
Seeing it firsthand.
I grew up in that. There was still a part of me though that don't judge me, and I feel it came to pass because I always wanted the big house with the white picket fence.
Oh, really?
Family. Yeah, that was always my thing. My mom always told, like, you'll make a great husband, you'll make a great father. You're going to do great.
So she spoke that into you.
Yes,
that's a good thing.
When we was young, she said that to me and my brother. So in the mix of, being how a man is and being who but I always knew that was.
You didn't want? Oh, really?
Yeah, that I still wanted that.
So how did you know, or how were you able to identify that that's not what you wanted to settle with, or like that wasn't the be all for you?
And listen, I seen fights and confrontations, or that cheating in marriages. I seen people was going to jail and everything. So I seen people was going to the hospital.
I don't recall that as part of my childhood.
Right. So,
like, my mom was in relationships, but I didn't see.
Right. So it didn't taint it, but it had me, you know. So you can either conform to it and it'll be okay, or you can say, you know what,
this isn't for me.
That's not my life. So taking on wanting to be a better person and being a better you and walking in all truths.
So it's part of your growth, is what you're saying.
You cannot. And it's even honoring God's word, but even if you don't look at it like, listen, you still have to be true to you.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
I understand.
You know, it's a thing to where, and not to get, because we can talk about the reasons why, but I just want to say it's a thing to where it's
I'm just reading. Like, I'm listening to you.
A relationship can't make it without honesty. I feel that if you're honest about what you're doing or why you did what you're doing, or even because some people some people will come out and say you can hear the signs of what's about to go down. Now you could be so into
are you in denial? Is that a denial thing?
So like
you're missing the red flags.
Let me give you an example.
Are you really missing red flags because they're waving, they're flashing?
Well,
he is doing some extra stuff over here.
I turned 40.
Hi, baby.
I turned 40, right? So if we was constantly arguing and not agreeing on nothing, and we're not having sex, it's just
complete disconnection.
Why
are we together?
Right. But even people still be together and put on the facade when they step in public. So listen, there's not one chance that I would think, okay, she's unhappy, that you wouldn't be capable of doing something. Or for you to think that I wouldn't be capable of doing something. Because in the midst
of all that going on,
that's chaos.
Yes.
Right. So I would be in denial if I think that you're not going
to... then you understand.
So then people will act like they don't care. Then when someone does cheat, now you're hurt.
Self-evaluation.
I be trying to figure that out. I know during them arguments, you say you don't care. Then when it happens, you can't. Yeah. You can't.
It just be
no. Mean what you say.
Say what you mean to me.
Yes, mean what you say. It's not a game.
But you can't say that because you can't say that because in the heat of the moment, things are always said, and then when stop, you better stop. Because we both said some things to each other that were just in the heat of the moment. So it's just, or do you? Oh, okay. Well, I'll take it back.
Mean what you say.
He mean it. You mean what you said to me when you were being mean?
Yes.
That's not good.
Mean what you say. But it wasn't nothing on, don't think it was nothing on, I'm going to cheat on you or I'm going to do anything. Listen, if anything, when I say I'm going to be okay, I'm going to be okay. I mean what I say. Listen, let me explain. So, even when you say things to me in the heat of the moment, even if you meant it,
you don't want to eat those words.
Even if you meant it, what effect should I let it have on me?
I take those. I
understand.
I wouldn't say I believe you.
I understand you do.
I do take things personally.
I know.
Is that what you mean?
Yes.
Yes, I take things personally. I feel like you wouldn't have said it if you didn't.
Listen, don't throw rocks.
Okay.
Okay. Don't throw rocks.
Okay.
Listen,
you be poking the bear too.
Listen. You feel me?
Don't be poking the bear.
But in all things, I know outside of that situations when they far and few.
Who's far and few? You.
Our disagreements.
Oh. I was going to say, did you... I wanted to read this. Because this is also, when I was listening to this passage or whatever it was, when she was talking about marriages, and she was explaining marriages are destroyed from the outside. Marriages are not destroyed from the outside in. they're destroyed from the inside out. How do you feel about that?
I mean, I agree, because it has to, you talking about as far as within the person?
Not within the person, but between the two parties. So let's just say if I come to you with an issue and you just blow it off, and then you don't, not perfect an issue, but you at least don't take into consideration or make the adjustment so that we are on a common, we are at common ground and we have peace amongst each other. So if I come to you and you just act like it ain't nothing, like that's part of destroying, and it's causing the separation and the disconnection between us. So it's like you're,
I thought you were talking about something.
Instead of drawing near to your partner in whatever issue that's being
to tear away.
Yes, so you're pushing them away from you. So that's how I took it. Is marriages aren't, so it's not someone coming from the outside that's mingling, although that's part of the equation. It starts between the party.
I took it as I took what you said as letting it boil up inside and not being able to speak how you feel, and then it starts to eat away.
Not individually. I'm speaking on terms of the two of us. So let's just say even I'll just give another example of the passage that you sent me and I read, where it was saying like the lack of sex or what have you. Being in a relationship, communication again is key. If you feel a sad way about sexual endeavors or encounters and that's not working for you, you should be able to say, that's not working for me, let's try this. Like, you should have a resolution, but you coming to me, I should be able to receive what you're saying so that we don't have that disconnection.
I'm glad you brought that up.
Which would, again, if we got to fix it here and provide, we got to bring it up, address the issue, identify whatever the issue is, and come up with a resolution between us. And if we don't, then that's what, again, instead of drawing us near, it forces us apart, which then sends someone outside so they can fill that void that wasn't being, that the resolution wasn't being created for. You understand?
Yes.
So I do believe that when things like this happen, it's an inside thing. There's a root cause that's brewing, or something that has been front and center for a long time, and it's either neglect, someone's neglecting the issue, knowing that the issue has been identified but it's being neglected, and someone's not willing to make the adjustment or to change, and then again it creates the separation and forces people outside of the union that should be brought together.
All right. I understand.
Oh.
I understand. Before we talk about being strategic, I want to talk about though.
I'm hurt.
Is it?
Hi, baby.
Is you
Come on.
able to reconcile if one person cheats? What is it possible? Because a lot goes into being able to.
I think it all depends on the person, and I wouldn't say what they can tolerate, but I feel, for me personally, I say it, but I wonder if I truly mean it, but I always say love wins always. I say that a lot. Love conquers a multitude of things. And just being in a relationship or a marriage, like forgiveness, like you go through things, so good and bad. So I do feel like love conquers all, but I don't know if there's stipulations. There would be, because I know you spoke earlier about people reconciling and staying together, but then you stay together and resentment be front and center.
Right. And it
so
just
I think
builds up into you. Yeah.
I think it depends on the individual, because you have to ask yourself, like, let's just say that occurred and then it was brought up. We decided that, okay, we got to the root cause and then we got resolution.
Can I pause you real quick right there?
Certainly.
That takes a strong person.
So
you got to be super strong.
You do. So you have to. So again, it depends on the individual to say how much they're willing to tolerate. Not to say that you're expecting for it to continue to happen again, but how much forgiving do you truly have in your heart? Like, we can say one thing with our mouth, but to actually be in a situation and then have to forgive someone for doing that, and then again, do you truly move past it? It's not to say that someone's going to forget that it occurred, but you really have to not put it on back burner, but evaluate, self-evaluate, completely evaluate, and then move forward. I always say it would be a bad thing if someone did say that they were going to move forward and you truly had to live in hell. They're going to constantly, like you said, constantly remind you of a thing or constantly throw it in your face, or 20 years down the road and we're having a perfect, like we got past it and then it still comes front and center. So like that to me would be like living in hell. That's what I mean when I say living in hell.
I don't think I could
living in hell.
I'm just being honest. Me and how that's me. This is me. I am faithful because I love you.
Thank you.
I'm faithful because I feel that you love me enough that you're deserving of me
wholeheartedly.
Doing something like that.
Excuse me.
And just me walking in my truths. I like to be unscathed. I feel what I mean by that. Without a blemish on my record. You see some people like, I know you. I had people come up to me, I bet you cheat all the time. Wow.
That's so offensive.
Yeah, I'd be like, I had somebody come up to me, I know you. It was a guy. He was a guy. He was like, but he was cool. It's cool. I don't want to say that. Yeah, one of them guys.
God.
Nothing to against those guys. He was one of them guys. He was like,
hate you.
He was like, I know you cheat on your wife. I was like,
damn.
Why would we in Boscov's? He said, I'm like, why would I do that? I said, I love my wife.
Did you have the kids with you?
No, I said,
you was by yourself.
I said, I'm loyal to the words I say.
You don't.
He was like, oh, that's good to know.
You don't ask though, like what would give you the? Maybe it was in your. Did you know them before though?
Yeah.
Oh so yeah. Maybe that was maybe that was.
Yeah.
You know how they say people hold on to your past. Yeah. Maybe that was a before.
He hung with, women hang with the guys. With them guys that hang around. So
so he saw you though in your prior life. Yeah. So that's where he was getting. So it wasn't that I
thought I look mature when people see me. I don't know. That must not. But yeah, that was his.
Not enough that they ain't gonna make an assumption.
So yeah, but I wasn't offended. I know he didn't know me, so
I know, but that would be offensive. You can't just assume or say that's crazy.
So, but I do think it can be reconciled. I feel that it has to be open lines of communication. It has to be at tip top. Everything has to be at tip top shape. You have to You have to be strategic in how you restore trust. You have to be. You have to be that even when you not cheating. Or you have to be strategic, and that's what I was going to say.
Listen, even strategic in communication,
right? And how you want things done. Like I'm not going. I feel it's weird to come out and say, I want a set thing for. I have to figure out and take the time. And not even say it, just how to make it happen.
I agree. I understand.
I feel that you have to wake up and go above and beyond. So that's without the infidelity. So with it, it's a slate. That's why I say I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it with me. Okay, now let's say this before you say your question. I just want to talk.
It's okay. Go ahead.
If someone
be so dramatic
is doing, because I do all that I can be to be. So I do. I'm using me.
So that's going to lead into my question.
Okay, I do all that I can do to be the best husband. Not the father thing. We're already in that. That's not a factor. I'm gonna do that. I'm talking about for you being the best.
This is a segue into my question.
Okay, so and if you was to do that, it would be hard for me because I know some people say I was doing everything. I was doing and you wasn't doing what you was doing everything for you selfishly. You see what I'm saying? Was it about her or was it about him? You cannot always feel that your enough is enough.
So, my statement that I wrote down says, people have the tendency to believe that they are all that in a bag of chips.
Me.
But we're wrong. Just because you feel that you're doing the said thing, it still may not be. That's what you think is right.
But you tell me,
I do. But but not with all things. Babe, you're dope. Babe, you're dope. And I feel that I'm dope too.
You are. That's why you.
But listen,
loyalty.
But listen, there is something that gets under your skin that I do. I'm not saying, I'm not pointing out a thing, but there's a thing, and you just like wish it to go away or wish it to change. I might think I'm the best at it, and you might feel something different. So I feel like you have to be willing, not you, but we have to be willing to accept that if someone comes to you and says, babe, I don't like the way that you do a said thing. You can't get defensive and just be like, I'm the best. I'm the husband of the year. Okay, that's how you feel. You have to also take into consideration how I feel. And it's not to say that it's always you, because I could assume too, or feel like I'm always doing a thing when we don't. I feel like we have to own our shit. So if I come to you, and again, I'm not using us, I'm just saying, if I come to you and say, babe, you make me feel A, B, and Z.
Right.
A, B, and C. You gotta receive that.
And I read something that I truly take into heart, that I can't come to you about a set thing that I don't like about you, because that is a reflection of something that I have to check in me. That's how I look at that. Anything that I might that you do for me, you do for me. I, at all times, there's nothing that you do that bothers me. I have to look at myself, because anything that I feel might bother me about you is how you respond to you. It's nothing. I think that's
part of it, but not completely.
Yeah.
And let me explain. Let me explain. Let's just say,
so
the first one be so high if everybody was really operating at the certain level where they thought they was operating at.
That because even, and this is from books that I read from Shrink, when you come in saying something that you don't like about your spouse, you have to evaluate.
It's not necessarily about what you don't like about yourself.
But just anything that can make you feel that way. It's when it makes you feel a set thing that person doesn't do, or that I have to look at it. Why does that bother me? That's what I've been learning, that I can't look at it as something that you, because I feel like
it's not just all me. It would be a part of you. I do agree, like you said, or like I said, self-evaluation, evaluating yourself and trying to understand why you feel the way. But I ain't crazy.
I know, but I just that's why when you say what you say, I'm good.
You can't be good, because to me, if you always say I'm good or I'm perfect, that means you're not receiving.
Perfect. Yes, I am. What I'm saying is, what I mean by that. Nah, because what I.
So again, let me ask this, and I'm gonna ask this, y'all. If you perfect, then how do you got room for growth?
Because I'm working on perfecting it.
No, you already perfect. You just said
perfect doesn't have an ending level.
Yes, it do.
Who says? Who says?
What's after perfect? Somebody help. No, stop. What's after perfect?
Death.
If he's perfected a thing, how is he still perfecting a thing?
Because I'm still working on it. You
can't use the word perfect. No.
I'm a perfectionist.
You're a perfectionist. That's better than saying you're perfect.
All right. Well, that's what I mean.
So good, which means you still have room for growth. You're working towards a thing.
Yeah.
Perfect is like completion to me.
Okay.
If you say it's perfect, then you don't. If you go, that's perfect. That means you ain't doing nothing. You ain't touching it no more. You gonna leave it as it is because it's to where you got it to be.
I might add something else.
No.
Then I might add something else.
Yes.
And it just adds something else on 20.
I hate you. I hate you.
But no,
listen. All in all, receive what I'm telling you. Don't always assume that it's to be. I'm just saying in general. Don't assume that it's something that's in a negative light. It could be something that just is going to help us be better than we are, so that way we can get to the level of perfection, which is completion. Understand? I do. I feel like, again, and this is just from hearing other people and people, because, and I'm not pinpointing anybody, but a lot of people discuss relationship information, like stuff with us, personal things. Somebody could say, oh, I was the best husband I could be. I was the best wife I could be. Well, why the hell you ain't working? Why is there separation? Because that ain't it. You got to be able to understand that you ain't all that you think you are, and neither is she.
I think it's right, but I think if both people are working to be, you ain't gonna have no problem.
That's what I'm saying.
So, is everyone doing the very best that they could be doing?
No.
So, but what? But
you said yes. That's why I said no.
Feel,
stop. You're not. You're not. You are dope. I promise you are.
I feel. I am blessed about that.
Listen, I am blessed.
Hey, listen, I put in. Oh man, that's cool though. It's cool. It's cool. It's cool. It's cool. And I feel it's cool. I accept. Look, I'm accepting that. I'm accepting.
I'm gonna record our argument later today.
I'm accept that. See, that's the thing to me. Who thinks like that? I don't think like that. I don't look for those type of things. That already shows.
I was looking for nothing.
Yeah, but I'm gonna record our argument. That's like speaking in it. I don't know. That's why I just know. Anytime I don't come with a set thing, because I am. And when I mean cool with it, I just feel it. I just have to. If it's something that I just work it out. Like I just.
We do work it out.
I roll past it. Like and that's how I feel. I feel that is 100% of what I do every day for who I am. To make adjustments. Am I getting up and giving my family enough? Am I, regardless to how I might feel, I push to the edge every day, and I just be feeling like I'd expect the same from everyone. Yours, it's just.
You don't feel everyone is so you're perfect. So you said it
ain't perfect. I'm talking about if something is addressed, and now let me clear that up. If something is brought to me, if I do a set thing,
is your mood changing?
I fix it. I don't wait to be tic-tac or wonder if you make an adjustment or why don't she stop doing this? How she say that to me? Or I don't even think that. I just fix it. I fix it, and it's not the fact that I fix my reaction to it.
Are you fixing it for you though, or are you fixing it for the other person?
I can't fix it for the other person. I want to fix it for me.
That's what I mean. So you're
because I feel that this is just me. I feel that I fix it for me, but not for the other person. Fixing it to fix it, but at the same time, I feel like something else is going to come up. It's always going to be a set thing until that. All right, so let's say this. What complaint? This is just. What do I complain about that you do?
I can't tell you off the top of my head. Is that a bad thing or that's a good thing?
I don't think I'd ever say, I don't like that you don't, or how come I don't do that.
Okay, that's you. You are an individual. That is you. So do you feel it's wrong that someone else does? They are an individual. So again, someone is coming to you with a valid complaint or a valid concern.
Who says it's valid?
The person who it belongs to. But, so that's what I mean. So you then have to receive that. You cannot automatically take offense or be defensive because it's not intended for it to be that way. It's just an issue or a concern. But you can't assume that you're doing it right because otherwise they wouldn't feel that way. Basically what he's trying to say is I just complain just to complain. That's what he's trying to say.
And I ain't gonna cheat.
You just gonna tolerate me.
Huh?
It's hilarious. He is hilarious.
But you worth it.
Thank you.
So I mean,
thank you.
I'm cool. I just don't want people thinking I'm just.
You said you were
right because I'm just not. I'm
going to give thanks to you, and I say that I am truly blessed because I will agree to that. You respond to me, you love me, and you treat me as though I'm worth it. I appreciate that. I know I get on your ever-loving nerves. I do.
But you don't.
Stop. Yes, I do.
I promise. I just want you. Listen, I feel when someone is.
I know you know I'm crazy,
but listen,
you think I'm crazy. I am crazy. I tell you all the time.
No, she's not. Listen.
She's not crazy. Yes, I am. I'm gonna
She's
tell
a
you
little-
that.
She's
I'm
not
gonna tell
crazy.
you that
Listen,
I am.
listen, look. So,
I got multiple personalities.
now, see, y'all hear this, right? There y'all see. Listen, so I'm strong. I'm good. So when I feel, y'all don't understand. So that's why I just y'all hear this? And then y'all think I'm crazy. You rewind that back and then listen back and go back and listen again. Slow it down.
Wait. I
Rewind that.
claim my crazy.
Right, so by chance, are you hallucinating when you think that?
Oh.
Listen, that's what I'm trying to tell you. Like, that's what I'm trying to say. Like,
No.
when I mean,
No.
listen,
No.
when I try to tell people, listen, I work at this. And
You do.
It is, it's worth every bit of it.
Thank you. Thank you, love.
So, when people be like, man, you don't understand, I'll be like,
Nigga.
who don't understand what?
I done seen it all.
Listen, and it takes a set thing. It takes a set. Because even with all,
I give you that, babe. I promise
Renee,
you.
Shauna, Sean, Sunrise,
people.
the Wrestler, all of them people.
Stop.
And I'm figuring out which one.
Listen.
So I have grown to know each person.
I commend you on your growth.
Each one. And
you respond accordingly.
Yes.
I commend you on your growth.
So when I say seeking out perfection, to learn how to do a set thing, to feel a set way, to understand. So that's why I say, with anything of disappointment,
I feel better though with you
have,
just saying seeking. You're seeking that perfection, because I don't want you to ever feel that you're perfect. You're perfect for me. I'll say that, but you're not perfect. I love you as you are.
Right before the line. But
I hate him. I hate
so let's
you.
right.
I hate you.
So I just be wanting for you to be. I feel when people are the best them, in all honesty, in all truths, that's the start. That's the start. You know, we had a list of stuff. You have to, because I will listen. As a man, for me, I have to do all the repellent. They say the infidelity repellent.
Repellent.
Yeah. You know, your job can't be too important. Your church can't be too important. People's opinions in your marriage. Your pastor can't tell you what to do or how to treat your husband or how to treat your wife. It is important for you to seek your own.
What works for you.
And it has to be important for you to evaluate yourself to say, you know what, through all of, regardless of what happened. First, you gotta have a regardless of what happened. Now, if I was doing things that would make you unhappy and you was and you stepped out, you know what I mean, I feel I would have to have ownership if I was doing things, even if I didn't cheat, but I was just being.
That's what I said. Both parties have to have a part in it.
Because as I told you already, I'm gonna be bougie, but I'm gonna take you with me. You feel me? So, yes, with my love, I'm gonna be bougie like this. You can't just stand and talk to me. Take a dump real quick.
Oh my God!
Yeah. So.
I appreciate that you think so highly of yourself. I do.
I just want to grow, and I want that to seep in. So I feel in marriages when people are being their best, when you're being your best, when you're being your best for you and you want the best, I gotta treat you the same.
So let's just reiterate. So to avoid these separations, the disconnections.
Get hit in the middle of the afternoon. Thank you.
You listen.
All right, go ahead.
To avoid the separations, I can't be serious with you because I can't. To avoid the separations.
Yes, sir. Let's break. Hurry up.
Division, miscommunication.
Yes.
You got to work on this thing.
Yeah.
Infidelity, we want to avoid it. So overall, again, this mission of us coming together and just sharing much about our relationship and just trying to research relationships, us hashing out stuff. Both parties got to be willing to, like you said, be where you're at, where you want to grow. You want to get to a certain level. I know. Trust me, I know. I know. Trust, and I like to talk. I want to. If it's an issue that comes up, I want to talk about it, and I want to talk about it now.
I'm gonna get a piece of paper. Like, which one is this?
Listen, guns blazing, everybody showing up.
See,
because that's why we need to. Me too. Listen, I need all y'all to know, and I tell y'all a million
times. There's people that know her that be like,
no, they make assumptions. No, because they look. Listen, I come in peace. Don't piss me off. You should know that by now.
I'm taking the GoFundMe page to my insanity.
Listen, I come in peace, but don't piss me off. But I agree with you, though. You got to be willing to, I promise you, it's self-evaluating and knowing that you are not the shit. You are, but you aren't. There is room for growth. There is room for you being able to receive and accept what someone is saying that you're doing wrong, so that way it doesn't lead you outside of your relationship or outside of your marriage. Don't be so much in denial or so much up on your high horse that you're not willing to bend, you're not willing to accept things, you're not willing to change a thing.
Right.
You just can't be shirt. It can't be one-sided. You gonna change your shirt, all right? What else you got? I think this was good conversation.
This was good.
It was a good conversation.
Oh, let me read off the reasons real quick. We got time.
The reason? Oh my! That list could be forever.
I'm talking about, right. This is I got 7 and 7.
You got 7 and 7.
7 for the women, 7 for the men.
Oh, okay. So, I didn't do that.
Men cheat. The first survey reason was
sex.
Lack of intimacy.
Sex.
And that was on both for the women too.
Is sex separate from intimacy? Would you separate
lack of intimacy? Would
you separate sex from intimacy though? Because do men really care about like being intimate, or is it just the
intimates? I love them. So I say intimates. All right, but now go ahead, real quick.
Intimacy, like romance and stuff like that, or is it just the act of banging?
Yeah.
So would you separate sex from that?
They're the same.
They're together. So they're together. Yeah. Okay. So intimacy.
So with the men was their spouse is not attractive as they used to be.
Oh.
And for the women,
listen, but your vow said to
listen. People don't. What?
You brought up Jesus in the damn vow.
I just said you people said I said the people that fall for that
commitment
reason.
to the Lord.
Yeah, that's why there's people that that's how they feel. They could be. They could be lacking sex and all types of stuff, but they be like, I'm committed to Jesus.
I can't speak for all women, but I do think that's a man thing.
Right, so, but the spouse attractive thingy?
Yes,
yeah, that's attraction. That was on the man's side.
Women gain weight, women...
Yeah, that was on, because that's what women do, but that was on the man's side.
Yeah, no, that's a man thing.
Alright, no. Number 2 was lack of communication.
Intimate. Go ahead.
And then number 3 for both of them was hypersexual.
Hypersexual. Someone's drive is
just becomes high during the marriage, and the other one, and they just start feeling the inner thought just coming in. It's
communication will get you to an even playing field, so you'll understand why somebody's sex drive is why it's unbalanced.
Right.
Yeah, communication that fixes that.
For women, number 4 was they just went out.
Oh man.
That was for both.
And just instead of just saying I want out.
Yep. Number 5 for men was.
If you said I want out, you have to provide me with a reason.
For men, number 5 was
or
to
die.
satisfy their own. For real. Their own ego.
Men, that's a man thing.
And then number 5 for women was you growing apart, having a separate lifestyle.
How?
So she might feel like she working hard and you just want to sell dope. It would be something like that, or you just want to work at McDonald's while you ain't bringing.
I'm gonna use the church word and say unequally yoked.
Yeah. Right. So, for women, number 6 was get revenge. Wow. And it said for a man to want to get revenge, he's petty. Men don't do that. So they say. I don't know. That's what it said. And then 7 was for men immaturity. That was for both.
Makes sense.
Immature people.
Makes sense.
Immaturity.
Makes sense.
So are you immature?
Good reasons. Good list.
Selfish should have been. Yeah, that was on there. Selfish should be on there.
That's as a whole.
Yeah, selfish.
That's as a whole. Good conversation.
Yeah, this was dope.
You said Intimins though. I cannot.
I don't eat them like I used to, but I used to hang Intimins.
Good conversation.
Yes. Thank you for stopping by.
You didn't get a. I am the show.
See, and I'm not going to disagree. In here and in there. Yeah.
You made me miss my train of thought.
Job.
I just wanted to. You didn't. So we don't have no bad blood.
Never.
Okay.
We're always good.
I know.
You know, my mind is like is it elephant? Not. My mind is not like an elephant.
Where you remember everything.
Oh damn, wrong one.
Yes.
Like
my
what? Mind is like
like an elephant where you remember everything.
Like a Facebook Live, it might disappear. I don't hold on to nothing.
You don't. You don't.
I want to be happy.
You are happy.
I am.
I'm happy.
I'm ecstatic.
I'm ecstatic. I am in a much better headspace than I was months ago.
Yes.
I'm back to working out.
Yes.
I'm excited about it.
I'm excited too.
We know. We know.
I enjoy your company.
We know, Bishop. Yes, he's been getting up with me at 5:30, 5:45 in the mornings for the wake-up calls. I appreciate it, but I'm on a mission. I told y'all last time, I need to get rid of this gut and these boobs. I cannot. And plus, I'll be 40 soon, so. The Browns lost last night. Stop.
It was preseason.
Okay.
Get her out of here.
I hope you all enjoyed our company.
Yes.
I hope you enjoyed the topic. As always, please give us feedback. We love it.
Look at this gold up.
Oh my God.
I just have to make this face all the time.
Yes.
Like when that bass hit, like, oh, what's wrong with him? He got poop.
And he said, I'm crazy. I know I'm crazy. He's in denial.
I just enjoy. I'm happy. I'm happy.
I appreciate you, babe.
All right.
I do. Peace, y'all.
Peace.
Oh, I want to give a shout out before you go. My blue lips. Remember, October is coming up, and it's coming up real soon. The blue lips, of course, is in solidarity, in spirit, and for domestic violence.
Okay.
So there's a lot of stuff that's going on for domestic violence, so I'll keep you abreast of that. But I just want to give a shout out to my cousin Shaka. Hey, Shaka. And her She Fly. This is Crush, by the way, if anyone's interested.
Dope.
Peace, y'all.
Peace.